We invite you to just close your eyes, relax, rest in the presence, and hold space.
Namo Namaha
to our weekly online satsang. Satsang being a Sanskrit word for spiritual community. Literally means community of truth. Wherever we have 2 or 3 people on the path of awakening and flowering into oneness with the divine and with all that is, we have a satsang. And it's a very important part of our spiritual journey, all of us who are on the path, to share our journeys together. We strengthen one another exponentially when we do this. Throughout these webcast satsangs, we're sharing a transmission we call the Flowering Heart Blessing. It's a direct transmission of divine grace and love and light from the divine source with the purpose of catalyzing the process of awakening and transformation in the receiver. When the divine showed it to Suzanne and me, it was made really clear to us that we shouldn't charge for it, so we don't. And that when someone receives one of these blessings, and you're soaking in it right now, you're initiated fully to be able to share it with others. So, if you don't have a blessing group, start one. It's really wonderful. It will change things for you to have a group you meet with regularly, where you live, where you can talk and pray together, meditate together, and share hand-on blessings. There's a 36-minute video on our website, floweringheart.org, that explains a little bit more about the Flowering Heart Blessing and has a guided meditation of initiation. It takes 36 minutes. You just invite a friend or 2 over, hit play on your computer. 36 minutes later, you have a blessing group. Everyone will be filled with the presence and ready to share it. What else? Give us a like or a love, whether you're here now or you're watching this later on. We'd like to know you were here. And I go in and look in the days between one Monday and the next, and sometimes even several weeks back, and see who's dropped in to watch these after they've been recorded. And you know, the presence is just as strong a week later or a year later, because it's spirit. The Flowering Heart Blessing, as with all direct spiritual transmissions from the divine, are spirit. Energy takes time and there's distance to cover. But with spirit, it is instantly everywhere simultaneously. So you could watch this video 10 years from now and still feel the same thing that we feel tonight. So please join us in sending the Flowering Heart Blessing. And you don't need to know what you're doing or how to do that. Just invite the divine to pour the blessing through you. Sometimes it's nice to open your palms and hold them forward. But just invite the presence to pour the blessing through you to everyone who joins us tonight and everyone who views the video in the weeks, months, maybe even years ahead. I think we don't have any other announcements that I can think of.
I don't think so.
Wow, how unusual. That's great. So we like to open it at this point to questions and answers on the spiritual journey, which would be your job, should you choose to accept it. Listen to that still small voice inside and ask, is there something I might ask in the satsang that would give me additional clarity and light on something that I'm curious about? And it would stimulate the conversation, and anything that you're experiencing in your journey will help all of us, because all of our journeys are different, but they're all parallel. We go through similar experiences and challenges along the way. While we're waiting for you to do that, I'd like to share quotes from inspiringquotes.com, a website that shares little articles written by a group of authors on relevant topics, and lists of quotes from influential people throughout time that shed light on those particular subjects. I almost did one tonight on how to get through Mercury in retrograde. I thought that was amusing, and they're actually pretty good quotes. That happened. Well, yeah.
Sure.
Because I started the music at the beginning. I was sitting there and just opening to the presence of the volume, just went, room. And there was nobody touched anything. I had to turn it up all the way. One of the things that happens during Mercury retrograde
Yes, you can't talk.
You can't talk. Communication is impeded. And electronics. Let's see what we've got here. 14 quotes to help you get through Mercury in retrograde. This article and these quotes were gathered by Melanie Davis McAfee, a freelance writer, musician, and devoted cat mom of 3, living in Southwest Kentucky. So thank you, Melanie. Let's see what she says. But we are in one of those times, Mercury in retrograde, and just the way the music fluctuated there. Mercury retrograde is one of the most commonly referenced and dreaded celestial phenomena of modern culture. But avid astrologers and occasional stargazers alike have little reason to fear this triannual or quarterly occurrence. Astronomically speaking, Mercury retrograde is an illusion caused by different orbital speeds. When Mercury, a fast-moving planet, zooms past Earth, a slower-moving planet, it appears as though Mercury is moving backward across the sky as we continue forward along our own elliptical path. I never knew that. From an astrological perspective, Mercury governs communication, transportation, and intellect. Thus, whenever this planet goes retrograde, these facets of life become stalled, depleted, or otherwise hindered. We're more likely to misspeak or misconstrue the words of others. Technology mishaps abound, and travel, whether long distance or simply your daily commute, becomes more frazzled and harried. Nevertheless, there are still positives to be gleaned from this starry situation. Mercury retrograde encourages us to speak thoughtfully, move purposefully, and slow down. Retrograde doesn't guarantee disaster, but it does remind us to remain aware of and gird ourselves for the possibility.
Gird?
Gird.
Oh,
That's a
never-
word.
is
Gird
it?
is a word.
I've never heard that word before.
It means to
Guard.
put something on.
Oh, like girdle.
Or a shield, a breastplate of armor to gird yourself. Yes. Whoa. See, we're already. Here we've gathered 14 inspiring, funny, and fortifying quotes to put you in the proper mindset to directly confront any potential retrograde chaos, from miscommunication to frustrating technology issues, like that thing we were trying to do last night. We were trying to help a friend set up a new TV she got, and oh my God. Now that I know Mercury's in retrograde, I get
Makes
it.
sense.
Okay, here we go. We don't learn much when things go right. It's when things go wrong that we learn the most. Simon Sinek. A wonderful fact to reflect upon, that every human creature is constituted to be that profound secret and mystery to every other. Charles Dickens. Man is a slow, sloppy, and brilliant thinker. The machine is fast, accurate, and stupid. William Kelly. We sometimes learn a lot from our failures if we have put into the effort the best thought and work we're capable of. Thomas Edison. You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. Maya Angelou, that one comes up a lot. Half of what I say is meaningless, but I say it so that the other half may reach you. Khalil Gibran. Very often in close relationships, the subject being discussed is not the subject at all. Sharon Salzberg. Of course, motivation is not permanent, but then neither is bathing. But it is something you should do on a regular basis. Zig Ziglar. There is no great loss without some small gain. Laura Ingalls Wilder. Speak clearly if you speak at all. Carve every word before you let it fall. Oliver Wendell Holmes Sr. Computers make it easier to do a lot of things, but most of the things they make it easier to do don't need to be done. Andy Rooney. The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. Mahatma Gandhi. The less devices you have to charge, the more charge you have for your mind. Avijit Naskar. When we're no longer able to change a situation, we're challenged to change ourselves. Viktor Emil Frankl. There you go.
There you go.
Now, since nobody's given me a question, I could just go on reading quotes all night. I got a whole other list. In fact, I got bunches of them.
Okay, why don't you read the ones that you were going to read before that one?
Why not? Well, look at that. Because Mercury's in retrograde and it won't load. There you go. This is our friend Joyce Chen, a writer, editor, and community builder based in Seattle, Washington. And here's what she says, life-affirming quotes about human connection. There are more than 8 billion humans on Earth, but as we all know, it takes just one genuine connection with another person to reaffirm our faith in humanity. That's because human connections are what tether us to others and help us form the bonds we celebrate as community, family, and kin. Sometimes our strongest connections are the ones we share with our parents, our children, our siblings, or our relatives. These are the people who often know us best, having watched us evolve and grow over the years. But blood relations aren't a prerequisite for deep connections. We can also seek them out among our friends, lovers, co-workers, and even strangers. So what constitutes a strong bond? Here we go. So what constitutes a strong bond? Good signs include feeling seen, heard, capable, appreciated, and loved unconditionally. We can recognize the positive effects of these deep connections when we feel secure in our relationships and safe to be as wild, messy, or uncertain as we need to be. Because for many of us, what draws us to others is not just who they are as individuals, but also how they make us feel. And therein lies the importance of building genuine, lasting relationships with people who really get us on a foundational level. They help make us better people, and vice versa. May the 13 quotes below serve as a reminder of those beautiful, magical, life-affirming moments of mutual recognition and connection. Here we go. Pay attention. It's all about paying attention. Attention is vitality. It connects you with others. It makes you eager. Stay eager. Susan Sontag. We are each other's harvest. We are each other's business. We are each other's magnitude and bond. Gwendolyn Brooks. I define connection as the energy that exists between people when they feel seen, heard, and valued, when they can give and receive without judgment, and when they derive sustenance and strength from the relationship. Brene Brown. The best relationships aren't built on partners mostly telling each other what's wrong. They're built on partners mostly telling each other what's right. Dr. John Gottman and Dr. Julie Schwartz Gottman. People leave traces of themselves where they feel most comfortable, most worthwhile. Haruki Murakami. You cannot live for yourselves. 1,000 fibers connect you with your fellow men. And along those fibers, as along sympathetic threads, run your actions as causes and return to you as effects. Henry Melville. There is a marked difference between acquaintances and friends. Most people really don't become friends. They become deep and serious acquaintances. But in a friendship, you get to know the spirit of another person, and your values coincide. Maya Angelou. I believe the greatest gift I can conceive of having from anyone is to be seen, heard, understood, and touched by them. The greatest gift I can give is to see, hear, understand, and touch another person. When this is done, I feel contact has been made. Virginia Sater. I know the ways of the ones who take, no, back up, start over. Know the ways of the ones who take care of you, so that you may take care of them. Robin Wall Kimmerer. A man's friendships are one of the best measures of his worth. Charles Darwin. Anything is possible when you have the right people there to support you. Misty Copeland. Align yourself with the right people. Forge the right relationships, and you'll set yourself up for the long run. Damon John. One friend with whom you have a lot in common is better than 3 with whom you struggle to find things to talk about. Mindy Kaling.
I really like that one. I've been contemplating that a lot lately. People that we hang out with or we know and they're acquaintances or they're friends, and there's just some people that you have a hard time communicating with, and then there's other people that you start talking and it just runs from one conversation to the next, just very organically and spontaneously. And I've been wondering lately about how that works and how I could maybe shift the ones that are kind of awkward and comfortable and find something more in common that would lead to deeper discussions or conversations. But it's a tricky thing, because there's just some people that, you know, even in the grocery store, I'll just strike up a conversation with somebody random and we'll stand there for 5 or 10 minutes and talk, because it just keeps going and flowing. But then
it's spontaneous rapport.
Yeah. And then there are other friends we've had for years, and it's like, unless the right people are in that combination of the group, it's hard to pull some people out. So, but then I see them talking easily to other people too. So it's yeah, it's a new meditation for me.
We've probably all experienced it, but there are times. I mean, I think the first time I remember, I was probably in my late teens, 18, 19 years old, and I just started this conversation with this person, and it was so easy and so spontaneous. The next thing I knew, it was sunrise, and it seemed like no time had gone by. And we've had experiences like that with friends here, where it's just, I'm not sure you can make that happen.
Right.
It just happens. All right. Well, thank you, Meralda. Oh, I can't talk tonight.
You're having a hard time. Go Mercury.
Meralda. Yeah. I love you too. Thank you for that. There's no question in that.
What?
Love you.
Oh, nice.
Thank you. We love you too. Well, have anything you'd like to say before we dive in deeper? We're entering the holiday season. It's like, where'd everybody go?
Coming on fast.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Stay focused on spirit.
Oh, there we go.
That's the challenge if it's anything like it is in the USA and North America, the holidays get incredibly distracting and busy. And
it's interesting, we've been clearing out our house. We've been like deep cleaning and getting rid of stuff that doesn't have any super, emotion attached to it, or clutter, things to dust. I mean, people have given us so much stuff over the years, and we've accumulated so much stuff over the years that we're just really paring back. That was spurred by a few different things that happened this year of helping other people clear out their space for different reasons, and it's been really chilly the last week for us. It's not below zero or snowy or blizzards, but it's been in the 50s during our walk.
And down in the 40s.
Yeah. And so we've been walking.
For Floridians, that's like freezing.
Right. So instead of taking our walks at the beach, we've been going to the mall, an interesting place to go during the holidays because it's so busy. But when you're not going there to shop or to get anything, and you're just walking, the mall in circles, you do upstairs and then downstairs, and there were stores that have cool, funky stuff in it that, I was telling Michael tonight, 20 years ago, I would have had to stop in there and I would have ended up getting stuff. It was like cool clothes from India and what was it called? World something?
Earthbound.
Earthbound, yeah. Anyway.
I thought that was a strange name for those of us that are ascending.
Anyway, just walking through the mall though and observing and just, not caring that much about material things anymore. And it was nice to stop and watch Santa with the kids, getting pictures taken. And today many people were bringing their dogs in dressed up to get pictures with Santa. And it's just observing people and observing, the way that we live. I've been doing more reflection and meditation on that too. It's like Michael said, what should we get each other for Christmas? I said, we should get rid of more stuff for Christmas and we should give it away, or just giving it away. I signed up for this Facebook group. It's called Buy Nothing Project, and you can sign up for it if it's in your area. You can run a search on Facebook, and it's the best group. It is so much fun. We had a toaster oven that somebody moved and donated to us, and we didn't want it, and I just posted it on there, and it's regional, kind of by town, and somebody messaged me back and said interested, and I said okay, it's outside the door, at this address, and 2 minutes later it was gone. And other people are looking for stuff, and they'll post what they're looking for, and if you got it, then you just offer it up for. It's just been this really, really great experience. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Somebody needed to borrow 20 chairs for family coming into town for Christmas, and we're going to arrange that around the week of the 16th. I mean, we've got so many chairs in our center. I'm like, let's share them. If they could borrow them for a couple of weeks, that would be great. And I don't know, it gives a whole different feeling. I remember when I was younger, I used to get really, there's an emotional rush when you buy something that you want. But after you've had it for a while, you're just kind of like, why was I so excited about this? Or do I really need this stuff? Or, what's the purpose of it? So that's been my meditation going into this holiday season, is really wanting to spend more time with friends and family and sharing food and our lives and our stories instead of stuff.
Yekaterina writes, I think I miss to be seen and heard. With the cell phones, my son and boyfriend just watch them, and I will pray for that to change.
Nice.
And in fact, things are changing for the better, I guess, because of grace. Well,
Beautiful.
Anything good that happens is because of grace
Yeah.
in this world. What I think is funny is to hear you say, I think I miss to be seen and heard when you are a popular actress. Come on, you've got to see the irony. But yeah, it's different when you're talking about your son and your boyfriend who
Right.
have their faces buried in a smart,
Exactly.
cell phone.
Yeah, we were at the mall today and we had to stop. They rent these strollers now. It's kind of space age looking strollers, and they've got tablets on it, and you can push your kid around the store and they can watch Nick Jr.
Well, they're strapped in.
while they're strapped into these cosmic looking strollers. It's just like, I think children need to be interacting, not just plugged in, and it's a babysitter. It's just a babysitter.
Well, the mall is filled with these,
Play areas.
video games.
Oh, yeah.
And I noticed that there were teenagers that were just sitting in them just constantly. And they were doing their phone. They weren't even playing the game. They were just being bombarded with these images of The Walking Dead and Jurassic Park dinosaurs and
Right.
gunfights and
Yeah. There's just such an endless stream of distractions and electronics, and we had one member of the community who was a high school teacher, and she would come to our meetings, and she loved the blessing, and she said, I've got to figure out how to incorporate this into my classroom. So she decided to, every day when they came in, just have them sit down and just put everything down and just be quiet for 3 minutes. And she would send them the flowering heart blessing. And she said it helped dramatically because they're just coming in from the hallway, they're talking to their friends, they're on their phone, and it takes them a while, like half the period, she said, to just settle down and focus on the studies. And she said that after she had them do that just for 3 minutes, that they were so much more alert and focused and ready to go for the class. And it would be great if more teachers and parents and families incorporated just even a little tiny bit of meditation in a person's day, and start young.
Ekaterina writes further, I mean the deep connection and feel understood. Well, I feel it with both of you, and most of the time with my dog. Well, I feel honored that we can even be in that same category with your dog.
Exactly.
Yeah. Meher Baba, a great Sufi avatar from India that some of you may know about, great saint who didn't speak for years, just a beacon of love, said that, dog is God spelled backwards. It's like the mirror image of God. So if you want to become God-like, become more like a dog. And he meant that in the best sense. They're loyal, they're affectionate, they're unconditionally loving. And she writes on, so I feel that with both of you, and most of the time with my dog, and more with God and Jesus. Well, there you go.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Well, we'll hold special intentions for your son and your boyfriend when we get to that in just a few minutes. Any other questions?
Or comments?
Or comments? Or revelations? Inspirations? We're open. The mic is open. My name's Mike. All righty. We are planning in the middle of February.
January or February? Maybe February now. I thought it was middle of January.
The course? 2 weeks after Christmas? That's insane. Okay, let's revisit this.
Okay, we'll revisit.
Because when I asked you earlier today, we were talking February.
January. It's going to be like a few days after George got back. But
okay, let's not
okay.
negotiate.
We're planning
that
another
out.
weekend course, so we will get back to
that. Mercury in retrograde.
When is it going out of retrograde? Maybe we'll look at that for the
demonstration here before
the calendar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's close our eyes and open our hearts and invoke the divine presence. The presence, the divine source itself, dwells within you in all of its fullness. As Rumi said, and I repeat probably on a weekly basis, that you're not just a drop of the ocean of God. You are the entire ocean in a drop. The entire ocean of God is within you, and everything exists within the divine presence. St. Paul said, in the divine we live and move and have our being. The divine is not far from any of us. It couldn't be, because we live inside of the divine itself. And this presence is all-powerful, all-knowing, ever-present, and all unconditional love. So much bad religious teaching has made people feel that there's a gulf of darkness that separates them from God, and that somehow they need to become good enough or holy enough or repentant enough, that maybe that gulf might be bridged. But I'm here to tell you there is no separation between you and the divine source, your source. It loves you unconditionally, exactly as you are, with all your quirks and faults. And this presence yearns to flood you with grace, to flood you with light, to flood you with life, to free you from suffering. All suffering is because of the craziness of the mind and the illusion of duality and separation. When we awaken beyond the mind through the grace of the Spirit, we come to experience our true essence, and that is God. And we discover that we're deeply united, not only with God, but with each other and with all that exists. All of our feelings of alienation, separation, and distance from others are an illusion. Let the divine dissolve that illusion for you right now. Receive the flowering heart blessing. Be filled with the light of awakening, the grace of transformation, to cause your heart to flower in oneness with God and with all that exists. That is bliss. The divine knows what you need before you do, and certainly before you could even ask. So for now,